All right, shalom, shalom to the full elect, the nation of Israel. I want to start off this lesson by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh,
Howell,
Bahashem,
Basha,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Bahashem,
Basha, Makabuda.
All right, double honors to the apostles and the double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, Slaka, that have taught us this word in truth and sincerity, and peace and mercy to the full elect that are also pushing this word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. All right, and also you little amount of sisters that believe, peace and mercy to you. So, in today's class, the lesson is going to be another edition of In the News. Okay, and a couple of events that are taking place regarding, the Bill C11 that Trudeau is passing here in Canada, and some things on World War III. In terms of rumors of World War III, because Yahushua spoke about rumors of war, right? We would know that we are in the last days by hearing rumors of war, and that's been evident for the last couple of years now. So, before we dive in, let me just start off with this precept here. This is Ezekiel chapter 3. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 7, verse 17. And it reads, it says here, I'll start at 16. And it came to pass at the end of the 7 days that the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Right? And that's what the prophets would be to the nation of Israel. They'd be watchmen, right? And you have many prophets, all right, in Israel, but the majority of the prophets in Israel are actually false prophets. All right, a minority of prophets in Israel are actually true teachers, true prophets. Okay, so you have more false prophets and true prophets in this word, in this ministry. Okay, and it says, therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning of me. You see, so the prophets of the Lord as watchmen were set up to what? Give warning to the nation of Israel of the Heavenly Father's judgment and what he was getting ready to bring down the pipe. And that's why we go into the news and events and link them with prophecy, because we're set up as the watchmen to warn the nation of Israel. Okay, verse 18, it says, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speaketh to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thy hand. So a lot of these false teachers among Israel, they're going to have a lot of blood on their hands, which means the judgment that the Lord has reserved for them is going to be very, very great. Okay. So anyway, so going into the Bill C11 aspect of this lesson here, this is off of a redacted. I have it a little bit speed up, so I'm going to go from here to about 305 and then skip down to about 650 and play little parts of this video.
Well, tracking Justin Trudeau's tyranny is a full-time job. Luckily, we have a man who makes it his full-time job to track Trudeau's tyranny. David Creighton from Human Events writes over at Post Millennial from time to time. A journalist joins us now. David, good to see you. Welcome back to the show.
Very nice to be back, Clayton.
We wanted to have you on because on Thursday night, the Trudeau government passed their latest bill, and it's, of course, a bill that we've been watching. We've been watching a series of bills over the past year in Canada, going to censor the Canadian people.
Shalom, y'all, Bashim and Shabbat.
Shalom, Yavachim Shabbat. Yeah, there's a famine in the land, brother.
Yeah, we're just live right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right now.
And basically taking away a series of bills over the past year in Canada, going to censor the latest bill, and it's, of course, a bill that we've been watching. We've been watching a series of bills over the past year in Canada, going to censor the Canadian people, and basically taking away free speech in that country. That passed Thursday night. Can you walk us through what the bill was or is, and what this will mean for free speech in Canada?
Well, what's going on right now is a threefold attack on basic freedom of speech in Canada. What happened last Thursday was the passage of Bill C11, which is aimed at big tech, as the liberals like to say, but it's really about the Internet Extortion Act is what I call it. It's going to force social media to pay Canadian news outlets to run Canadian stories on social media. Now, Meta has already come out and said, no way, we're going to stop running Canadian stories. So it's technically called the Online News Bill, now the Online News Act. And all of these bills have innocuous sounding names, but what they are all about is just stripping Canada of free speech. And prior to C18 passing, the Online Streaming Act, which was Bill C11, passed, and that demanded that all independent news providers or news providers in general have Canadian content regulations. So that's going to hit a lot of YouTube.
Shalom, Akiyah, Bashir,
Shalom, y'all. Bashim Shai, Rakatah,
Shalom. Yeah, but Shmishai Bakatah.
Khan.
YouTubers out there who are not going to have enough Canadian content to stay on the air. And this goes back to an obsession with the Liberal Party that goes back decades. And a lot of YouTubers out in general, which was Bill C11, passed. And that demanded that all independent news providers or news providers in general have Canadian content regulations. So that's going to...
Right, so all independent news providers, are going to have Canadian regulation, and they can only have Canadian content. So YouTube is considered a news provider. And remember, like Apostle Gabar always says, YouTube does the heavy lifting, the bulk of this truth, of pushing this word, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it only makes sense that Esau would come at, shutting the YouTube down. Okay. Which goes into, what? Famine of the word. And that I see the brother here already posted it, but I'm going to go back to the precept, but I'll just read this. But we're going to come back to this precept. Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst of water, which even though the Lord is saying he's not going to do this, this actually will happen though as well, because right now this is the context of the word, right? But there is going to be famine of food and water, and it's not even a real famine, but it's more so orchestrated, right? It's this whole crumbling of Babylon, and the inflation, is going up, and there's food shortages. All that is controlled demolition. Okay, so it says, "No thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord." Mm-hmm. So there's going to come a time. Now we all talk about the MOTB because that's like one of the most major prophecies to come to pass, right? To play out. But even before the MOTB, what's going to take place is what? Famine of the word. All right, we're not going to be able to be on the internet, making these lessons daily, exhorting daily, teaching Israel daily. We might be in a situation where we go out there on the highways and byways, and that's it. We go out there, we don't do no videotaping because you have to have Canadian content. There's going to be regulations, and ultimately the famine of the word is going to be playing out. And we might just be in a situation where we're just prophesying, and then we go back to our daily lives. There's going to be no lessons done, right? So everybody will be on their own, so to speak. But listen to what he says here.
I hit a lot of YouTubers out there who are not going to have enough Canadian content to stay on the air. And this goes back to an obsession with the Liberal Party. So
to stay on air, right, to stay making videos, you would have to have a bunch of Canadian content.
That goes back decades with this obsession with Canadian content at the detriment of free speech. And for a while, this obsession died down because there simply was so much information available on the internet, on cable news, that it was no longer necessary to dictate that there had to be so much Canadian content because there's a proliferation of Canadian content. But there's something sinister about this. Why are they insisting that the internet now reflect the Liberal Party's view of Canadian content? Why are they insisting that with this obsession with Canadian content, which was Bill C11, passed, and that demanded that have Canadian content regulations? So that's going to hit a lot of YouTubers out there who are not going to have enough Canadian content to stay on the air.
Okay, and we're considered as YouTubers. Okay, so every man, every teacher, every prophet that has a YouTube page, very soon you're going to see the Lord take his prophets off the internet, man. Very, very soon, because right after that happens, man, prophecies are going to start imploding quickly.
How about quick?
Yeah, man, go ahead.
No, I was going to say,
Shemai has the quick reset.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, bring it out. No,
Okay.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, kind. Daniel 7, side 25.
Go ahead.
It says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until the time and times and the dividing of time. And one of these laws is the C18, right? They kind of basically block, only allow their media to be pushed on the people, man.
Right.
Because we're known as like the RT News. They're like a, what do you call it? Alternate media. So we're like alternate, we're like an alternate media, and they don't want that, man. They want to have full control on the people, man.
That's right.
Right. But the thing is, they're doing all this, but the Lord had already had it to where the word went forth, man.
The
YouTube did the heavy lifting, so it's only a matter of time. And, it's all praises that this devil is doing this anyways, man.
Exactly.
That's to show us that the Most High's word went out, man.
Exactly.
Right?
Beautiful.
It's doing its course, man.
That's right.
Let me just finish this up quick.
Yeah, take your time, brother.
Verse 26. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominion shall serve and obey him. So, this is very exciting time that we're coming into, man, because we've all been saying for this devil to make his move, right? So this is him making a move right now, man. This is a chess piece move.
That's right.
Man.
That's right.
Right? Because, ultimately, we're not going to be prophesying in the kingdom, man. So we're not going to be prophesying even before the kingdom, man. We're not going to be on the highways and byways, you people trying to reach us and trying to hold on to our garment. No. It's going to be too late for all that.
That's right. I'm chuckling because the prophet Amos, beautiful but powerful breakdown, because that precept leads right into what we're talking about. It was prophetic to this time. But Amos gives us some insight in spirit there in the 12th verse, right down to the 14th verse, right? What it's going to be, what their condition will be when that time happens, when this thing fulfills. Okay, that the men of the Lord will just come out, and who's going to be their audience? Who's going to be their audience? It's got to be the elect.
That's
right.
Right at the beginning, in regards to in regard to this fulfillment. But
Yeah.
it tells you in verse 12 the condition of those who the Spirit is not working with. Right? Verse 12, if you want to read it, brother.
Yeah, I'm actually going to start from 8 because I have that precept on deck as well. So
okay, yeah, take your time, brother.
Yeah, I'll read from 8 and I'll go to 14.
Beautiful.
Actually, Slack, you know what? Before I read it, let me finish the last part of this video I want to play, and then go to the precepts. Because we're also going to get into World War III. Because rumors of war is a very important telltale sign of where we are in terms of prophecy. Yahushua said that when we hear about rumors of war, those are signs that we're at the end.
That's right.
Shared across social media. They've already.
Well, that is the stark and very dark truth of this. That's what it's all about. We are becoming like China in terms of having only liberal party.
Yeah.
But that's to show you, like, these guys are Edomites, man. And they're bugging out, man.
Yep.
You know? They don't have a clue what's gonna happen, man. But they think that if they warn the people and wake them up, all right, that there's gonna be some big revolt against the elites and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? No, man.
No, man.
Go ahead, Doc.
No, that's a good point. That's a good
Yeah.
point.
Beautiful.
what Canadians can watch and listen to, and it's extremely dangerous. But I tell you, the worst is yet to come. And the third part of Trudeau's what he calls his online agenda, and that's exactly what it is. It's an online agenda, but it's also an attack on free speech, and that's the Online Safety Act.
No, it's really an attack on the truth.
That's
All right, because Trudeau, all right, that puppet, he has handlers, he has people above him that he has to listen to, that ultimately go up to the bankers, the elites, which they know of us, man. They know of us, starting with the apostles and elders on down.
That's right, man.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds just wonderful. What could be worse than safety?
Right.
But that, of course, is what's coming next, and that is going to be Trudeau's attack on hate speech and misinformation / disinformation. That's the next part of this. That's the scariest part. He is going to make that essentially illegal or subject to massive fines. And this is happening.
See, and if you know that, Esau is going to look at our videos, and our videos are considered as hate speech, man.
That's
Why?
right.
Because we're bringing out the truth.
Right.
That's why it's considered as hate speech or misinformation, because we're bringing out the truth.
Well, we're going to bring out more truth in regards to the condition of the elect versus the conditions of the masses. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, but go ahead, brother.
Come
Happening right now in Australia. As I speak, they are grappling with the same legislation. They're about 6 months ahead of us, and they are introducing their version of the Online Safety Act right now, and it's frightening because the question is, who defines what hate speech?
You see, so he's talking about how other countries have their own version of the Online Safety Act. So this is a global thing, right? Because the Most High has it where these other nations, they work hand in hand with Babylon. All right, and Babylon the Great is America, and then you have the little extensions of America, which are all the other countries of the world. All right, because Babylon's wine has the whole world is drunk of the wine of Babylon. So real quick, let me get this. Yeah, straight to the point. Revelation 17:17. For Yahweh hath put it in their hearts. Who's their hearts? The other nations, right? To fulfill his will. So guess what? The Heavenly Father is working on the minds of the various kings of all the other nations to work and fulfill his will, to fulfill prophecy on the left-hand side. It says, and to agree and to give their kingdom onto the beast. That's why you got NATO set up, EU, right? So all these nations, and the biggest seat holder in NATO is America. All right, so all these nations have agreed to basically follow America and do what America is doing, right? And Canada is an extension, a very close extension of America. Okay, so yeah, you're going to see other nations or other countries following in the same suit. And ultimately, the reason why the Lord is doing this, because you got prophets all over the world. You got prophets over there in different parts of the world, man. Okay, so it says the kingdom unto the beast, right? Which is NATO, unto the NATO and the EU, unto the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled, until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. All right. So going back.
Speeches. And who defines what this information is? Well, I'll tell you, it's going to be the Trudeau government, or it's going to be the Liberal government who makes that call. And anything that they disagree with is going to be hate speech. You heard how Trudeau talked about the Freedom Convoy. Racist, misogynist, hate speakers.
Right.
They would be banned. Trudeau wants to ban anything he disagrees with, any news or information that he deems bad for his Liberal government. And I think this is absolutely frightening. And I've looked through the coming legislation because for the last year, the Liberal government has been doing.
So that's basically it. If you want to go watch the whole thing, there's some good information on it. Just go on Redacted and they have it on their YouTube page. But now let's get into some precepts in regards of the famine of the word and this event that's taking place. Because this happened only about 3 days ago on Thursday. So Malak, I think you had a precept you wanted to bring out. Or you were talking about Amos?
Yeah. Definitely. If we continue to read there, but before I go to the precept, real quick, because this guy's talking about hate, this word hate, right? And simply put, man, it's a simple definition. It means dislike. That's a definition for that word hate, dislike. So this is why we know that it'll work. Like his what you call it, his legislations will work against the masses, but it will not work against the men of the Most High, because it's set up this way, right? Because the words, just on the words alone, we're going to go into the precept, but
Okay.
so they hate, right, which they dislike what we're doing. That's what that word really means, right? That's just a definition. So you look at the definition, and when you go into the word, the etymology of the word, right, because I have it right here real quick. Okay, it says, right, as a noun, real quick. Or no, I'll just read one that I was looking at here. From the word hate as a verb, right, which is an action word. It says treat as an enemy. So that's what that's what he's treating. He's going to treat the men of the Lord as, right? So what? What else? What else are we going to say when we're coming from these scriptures to the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, when he's going to treat us as an enemy, right? Because he's saying that the scriptures are going to be hate speech. Anyway, that's the point on that, right? Treat as an enemy. That's what the word hate, excuse me, the etymology as a verb means. Okay, and there's many others. But anyway, brother, go to the precept. I should say, start at verse 8 and then go all the way down, brother, because verse 12 of that talks about the condition of not only 2/3 of our people, but also the rest of them, meaning the what you call it, the masses. Go ahead, brother.
Cool. Hold on a second. I got a quick precept to bring up for you. Oh, Shema, I think you have one quick too, right?
It's a quick one.
Yeah, go ahead. Bring it out real quick.
Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Going into what Malak was explaining about the verb hate and the etymology, right? To treat as an enemy. So that's what he's going to do in that time, to treat us as an enemy, man. Right? So the Heavenly Father is going to lift up a standard against him, man.
That's
beautiful.
Right. That's right. Yep. I got this also to back you up, Malak. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 12. It says, therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and rejected or objected to our infamy. The transgressings of our education. He professes to have the knowledge of Yahweh, and he calleth himself the child of the Lord. He was made to reprove our thoughts. And how do we do that? By the way of these electronic epistles, right? Taking these lessons daily. We're reproving, Esau and his kingdom, and even going out there and prophesying. Right, he is grievous unto us, and even to behold. For his life is not like other men. His ways are of another fashion. Okay,
right.
So, yeah, just to back up your point, man. That's that hate speech, and that's they're going to use the guise of hate speech to get rid of the truth, basically.
That's right. They'll become our staunchest enemy from without. And obviously 2/3 will be our staunchest enemy from within.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is Amos 8 and 8. It says, shall not the land tremble for this, and every one that dwelleth therein? And it shall rise up wholly as a flood, and it shall be cast out and drowned, as by the flood of Egypt. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will cause the sun to go down at noon, and I will darken the earth in the clear day. Now, this is literally going to happen by, the smoke of the missiles and even the covering of the chariots, right? But in the spiritual sense, this is going into the knowledge, right? Because We are in the third day. We're in the noon of the third day, getting ready to go into the night.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The morning of the third day is when Yahushua comes with salvation. Right. So we're getting ready to go into the night of the third day, right, which is where Jacob's trouble is going to be at its climax. Okay. So what's happening is that I will cause the sun to go down at noon. The Lord is causing this truth. All right. Evidently, he's going to cause this truth to be stopped, to stop being taught.
That's right.
Right. Because the elect have been sealed. And I will darken the earth, right? So confusion in the clear day. And I will turn your feast into mourning and all your songs into lamentation. I will bring up sackcloth upon all loins and baldness upon every head, and I will make it as the mourning of an only son. Right, because you have to understand, for the Heavenly Father to have his prophets out there on the highways and byways all over the earth would mean that, according to prophecy, we're still in the time of grace. Right? Because the prophets were always out there before the judgment came. Hence the word prophets or prophesying. So once the prophets are not there, right, you best believe that the judgment is coming right around the corner, right after, man. It says, and the end thereof as a bitter day. Behold, the days cometh, saith the Lord Yahweh power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor of thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahweh.
That's right.
And they shall wander from sea to sea. And we understand that metaphorically, the word sea refers to people. So people are going to be going among themselves, asking themselves questions as to what's going on, right? And if you've been keeping up with some news, there's been a lot of talk by economists, right, economists, and other various alternative newses saying that they're expecting a huge EMP attack. And that's something to think about, man. Right? Society without any electricity, and then just like Esau did, man. That's like that's gonna breed anarchy. Okay, and from the north even to the east, they shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord Yahweh, and shall not find it. Right, so the Lord is gonna bring all these calamities, right, and devastations to the earth, and that's going to be when people are going to be searching for the truth.
Beautiful point, brother.
The truth.
Now, I'm glad you're bringing this up, because if you folk miss what the brother just prophesied about, right? It's nothing new. It's a revelation. But when this thing happens, you notice it says there, in this translation, it says border to border. So underneath the spiritual drought, there's also going to be a literal drought. What does that mean? It means, I'm just saying it this way to say, these people are literally going to be running around as well.
Yeah.
Going from place to place. Yep. And that's why your precept says to the north, right?
Yep.
In the NLT, it says border to border. But if you've been paying attention, you folks at home, with these TikTok videos with strange things happening to the north and the North Pole and the flat Earth, right? We're seeing this happen in a small scale right now. Lo, he's over here, he's over there, and all this madness.
Yeah.
Okay, but we know that it's not about that. We know that it's for famine. The famine is here, but it's going to intensify to the point where you're going to actually see this. What was just said. Okay. Because we're going through it right now. So yes, the term it says here, I'll read it so you can just hear how it sounds on the NLT. It says people, Amos 8:12, people will stagger from sea to sea and wander from border to border, searching for the word of the Lord, but they will not find it. So yes, first they'll bug out in the mind, and we're seeing that now. All these set of doctrines coming out in regards to the north and this and that and that. And brothers, we know what's up. We know what's in the sides of the north. But anyway, that's for another topic. And you did mention
The
that.
main
You did
people,
mention-
the main people that
Yeah.
are going to be, wandering from border to border are Israel. You Jakes, man,
First and
because
foremost.
this message was to you,
That's right.
right? Just like in the time of Acts, this message was to you, and the majority of Israel rejected the Lord's word.
I've been looking for Farrakhan and asking him, what's going on, Farrakhan?
Right. And Farrakhan himself is going to be bugged out in that day. He's going to be looking for the answers himself.
Well, they might want to take him out anyway. They're probably going to kill him, man. His congregation.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
They're going to want answers, and he was leading them astray, man.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah, a lot of these leaders will be killed by their own congregation. That's true.
Yeah, man.
There you go. That's it. That's part of prophecy as well. In regards to these wicked leaders.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Verse 13, it says, in that day shall the fair virgin and the young man faint for thirst. They shall swear, it's like they that swear by the sin of Samaria and say, thy God, O Dan, liveth, and the manner of Beersheba liveth, even they shall fall and never rise up again. Right? So a lot of you Israelites that basically put your trust in false teachers and this society rather than the prophets of the Lord, well, you're gonna catch you're gonna have to live with the consequences of your decisions in Jacob's trouble, man.
That's right.
That's just really. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say because it says faint for thirst, but that thirst is going into the living waters.
That's right.
Right? Because when Yahushua was at the well with the woman of Samaria, right? He told her about that thirst. I mean that water. Basically, if you drink of this water, you'll never thirst again, man.
That's right. That's right.
Jake didn't want to drink of this water, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's why you're gonna see Eve. She can be looking bugged out in the last days, man.
Yep.
Jake man is already bugged out too. See what I'm saying? But Eve is all about looking good and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Eve's gonna be fucked up, and then our men is gonna be the 2/3 Jake. They're gonna be fucked up, man.
Yeah, those shameful idols are going to be
that pride is gonna be gone.
That's right.
A certain pride and countenance these Jakes have, man.
That's right.
That's
right.
Bougie badass and all these guys, whatever, man. Whoever they are, but yeah.
Right.
That's right, man. Real quick, this is Ezekiel 7 and 25. It says, destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace. Right? And there shall be none. Right? So that peace ultimately right now, what's the peace of the peace that we receive in this kingdom is this word. Right? But hey, in the time of Jacob's trouble, which is Jacob's trouble, man. So that's towards you Israelites. You're gonna look for this. You're gonna try to seek for this peace, but you're not gonna find any help from the Heavenly Father. And that even goes for Israel. That even goes for Israel that knows the name of the Heavenly Father, because the Lord said, "Not everybody that calls upon my name or says, Lord, Lord, shall enter in the kingdom of heaven." Right. So that should put fear in all our hearts to basically get right with the Heavenly Father. Verse 26 it says, mischief shall come upon mischief. Right? So troubles upon troubles, man. We're going to be, the scriptures talk about we're going to be in events where it's going to be as if you just got away from a bear. You got into the house. You thought you found some comfort, and then you're going to find, then the snake's going to bite you, man.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be going from calamity to calamity to calamity to calamity, all the way up until the chariots. All right, and World War III.
Right.
So mischief shall call upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophets. So we've had multiple mischiefs partake ever since 2019 up until now, right? With the lockdowns and everything, and then rumors upon rumors, right? The war building up, which is World War III. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priest, and the counsel from the ancient. So all the counsels that you're getting from these various leaders, that Israel's getting from these various leaders, are not going to help or hold them in that time of Jacob's trouble.
That's right.
See, a lot of these false teachers are able to get away with them teaching lies because Israel still, the system is still up, right? Israel still is able to go to work, right? Pay their bills, buy their food, and do all those things of the sort, live their life, so to speak. But when all that's taken away, then you're going to really see who the Heavenly Father is really dealing with. And like the brother said, man, you might even see these congregations take out their own leaders because these leaders are not going to have the answers in that time. Okay. It says the king shall, or these false leaders, it says the king shall mourn and the prince shall be clothed with desolation, and the hands of the people of the land shall be troubled. I will do unto them after their own socket, after their way, and according to their deserts will I judge them. Deserts will I judge them, and they shall know that I am the Lord.
That's right. Beautiful. There's it right there. Right there. You just read the last part. You'll do unto them. So you swore unto those shameful gods of Samaria.
Mm-hmm.
Lord's gonna jack your stuff up. It actually tells you in the next chapter over the first 3 precepts of Amos as well, but Amos 9, 9, 1, 2, and 3 tells you exactly what was prophesied, what you brothers have talked about in regards to the Lord's work and what He's doing. Okay, in terms of destruction.
That's right.
Right. Anyway, that's the point on that, but we might go there later if the Spirit impressed.
Con.
Amos.
So I got this other clip here.
Oh, bring it up, brother. Bring it up,
I
brother.
got this other clip here from GMS Watchman. Subscribe to the brother and be edified. But it's also, this is going into the World War III aspect portion of the lesson and how these nations are prepping for war. But remember, we all know that, in terms of order of prophecy, we're basically looking for what? Famine of the word, then Jacob, climate, then the MOTB, right? And then World War III, right? But all these things, the stage is being set before our eyes.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime.
Sure.
So I actually have been a geopolitical, junkie going back probably 20 years. And so I followed some really intelligent gurus that have followed Russia.
And you notice that most of the people that bring out this information are Edomites. This is another Edomite. And the scriptures say that what? 2 things. That if Satan's house be divided, or Satan's kingdom be divided against itself, how can it stand?
That's right.
Right. So, and then he also said that in Psalms it was prophesied that their own tongue shall fall upon them. So those are signs. When you see that Edomites are bringing out all the information in terms of the downfall of their own kingdom, that's a heavy sign that we're in the last end of this kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
China, North Korea, Iran, and the threat to America. And therefore, I've had the highest ranking spy that ever
He talked about China and North Korea, and he's also going to bring up Russia.
defected from the GRU, and the GRU is a sister organization to the KGB, in my living room. And he actually his name Stanislav Lunev. And so he testified in front of Congress with his voice disguised behind a screen. And he was one of the guys from the Russian side that worked with the Chinese in their master plan to essentially undermine the United States. And so I followed, great geopolitical strategists like Jeffrey Nyquist and Frank Gaffney, Peter Navarro, et cetera. And so I've been worried about this.
I'm sorry, I can't pronounce his name. What did he tell you?
Stanislav Lunev. Essentially, he said that the Russians were almost inhuman in terms of their leadership. And so he made the point about how people,
because the Lord, if you watch these Russians, man, and you see and you go into and you look at their military exercises and their military practices, man, Russia and China, the Lord is putting a spirit on those 2 nations, man. Right? He's putting a heavy spirit on those 2 nations to gear up for war. And these Edomites are seeing it, and that's why you're hearing them say that Russia is basically inhuman. Right? Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Like just to add on, because the American military, man, you have a whole bunch of people just in there because they want to get their schooling done. Like everybody has their own motive.
Right.
Whereas in Russia and China, they have they're focused, man. Same way that the prophets on the highways and byways were one. We have the same mindset.
Yeah.
The same way on the left hand side, those the Edomites in Russia and the Moabites, they're all coordinated as one, man. So they're not gonna feel no way dusting out these Americans, man.
That's right, man.
These Babylonians that are fighting for LGBT, feminism, racism. They're fighting for democracy. There's a whole bunch of things they're fighting for.
Right.
There is not one set goal. You see what I'm saying?
Right. They're divided.
Then you have Jake in there, and then you have Esau in there, and whoever else in the Babylonian army. Like the whole, just bugged out.
That's right, man. That's right.
Because Jake's gonna get, in Valley of Jehoshaphat, they're gonna get their judgment, man. The Jake that are in the military, all right, the Jakes are gonna be destroyed, man.
That's right.
Right.
That's right, man.
Yeah. Second Ezra 16 and 71 says they shall be like madmen.
That's right.
That's a special spirit that the Lord will put on them. Right.
Exactly.
But that I'm just using that to filter this guy that's talking about the Russians.
Yep.
But what he doesn't know, it's a spirit.
That's right.
Okay. And Ecclesiasticus 39 and 28, it's that same spirit. Right? It's that same spirit of vengeance.
Exactly.
But amped up at the end. Anyway, brother, go ahead.
He said that the Russians were almost inhuman in terms of their leadership. And so he made the point about how people in the West think about some of this Russian leadership, and they think that they're normal human beings, but that they are.
Doesn't the Most High refer to them as the bear?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, that's a good point.
Vicious and essentially just wanted to undermine the United States.
So you're saying they're willing to do whatever it takes to win.
Exactly.
Everything that we're not willing to do.
Exactly.
Interesting. A lot of countries are coming out now, and it looks like they're willing to do whatever it takes to win, whatever their goals are. The only country I don't see doing that is the one we live in.
So what he also said is that Russia and China are working together, and they planned on undermining the United States, and they essentially want to wipe out the United States. That's in their master plan.
If you see some,
and he's speaking fact according to prophecy. The scriptures talk about the eradication of Babylon the Great, and how the Lord is going to stir up these other nations, right? In particular, Russia, and then also China, right, to destroy America by nuclear fire, man, nuclear warfare. So let's get some precepts on that. I'm gonna start off with Jeremiah 50 and 9. And this is 9, Jeremiah 9. So this is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9, and it reads, "Below, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country," right? "And they shall set themselves in array against her," right? So that's starting with Russia. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expertman. None shall return in vain. Right? And we know that those arrows are speaking about, it's parabolic for the missiles. Okay, they're going to be shot from particular nations, different particular countries like Russia, right, North Korea, and China. It says, "And Chaldea shall be a spoil. All the spoil, all that spoil her shall be satisfied with the Lord." Shall be satisfied, saith the Lord. Yeah, because ultimately, Babylon the Great, which is America today, is not only oppressing Jake mainly, but it's also oppressing all the other nations.
Yep.
Okay, all the other nations are feeling the oppression from Babylon the Great as well. So yes, they are going to be satisfied once America is done. Because what did America bring in? America brought in fiat currency, right? America brought in GMO foods, right? Synthetic meat. America brought, like the brother was saying, pride, right, all over the earth. So you're seeing that America was used as a patsy, right, by the global elite, the bankers, right, the house of Esau, to what? To fulfill wickedness, to push wickedness throughout the whole earth. And the nations have had it. They're getting tired of it. And the Lord is stirring up their hearts, building up their minds to eventually shoot arrows, shoot missiles at America.
That's right.
It says, verse 11, because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of my heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer, as at grass, and bellows as bulls. And Isaac gave that blessing to Esau, that he would have the fatness of the earth, right? And so he would have full autonomy and control over all the nations of the earth by the way of his policies, right? And the sword and his witchcraft, which that's the sword, his policies is a form of the sword, right? His military is a form of the sword, right? His idolatry is the form of the sword. It's also a form of wine. Okay, it says it's like his ideology. America's ideology is also a form of the sword. It says, your mother shall be sore confounded, she that bare you shall be ashamed. Right? And that mother is talking about Great Britain, because America got its independence, right, from Great Britain during the War of Independence. Okay? It says, behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness. What's the hindermost of the east? Well, the hindermost of the east, from the east, would be the west, the other side of the world. So we're over here in America, or the Americas, is the hindermost part of the nations. It says, and a dry land and a desert, because of the wrath of the Lord Yahweh, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth to Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. Let's get that word hiss. So the destruction of America is going to be grand. Right? It's going to be like nothing like the world's ever seen before.
That's right.
The world has never seen nuclear fallout like that. It says hiss, whistle, pipe, to hiss as a signal, right? So the destruction of America is going to act as a signal to the world of what happens when you come up against the Lord and His word. All right. To scorn, or in scorn. So, and that's where you see this going on with America right now. America is being scoffed at by all these other nations, right? Because you have grown men, getting giving lap dances to children. You have military. You have people in the military all over TikTok doing all the different kind of feminine dances, man. America's a laughingstock. You got Sleepy Joe, the Joe administration, the Biden administration is a complete joke. In verse 14, it says, put yourself in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. Shout against her round about. She hath given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of the Lord Yahweh take vengeance upon her as
Mhm.
she hath done unto as she has done, do unto her. Okay, and that's how the Edomites rule the earth. They rule the earth in vengeance, right? And wrath.
That's right.
Speak to nations in wrath, the hammer of the earth. That's America. Cut off. Oh, that's a point actually right there. I'm gonna go through this precept here quick. Straight to the point here. Proverbs 21:1. It says the king's heart, right, which goes to his mind, is in the hand of the Lord,
Praise the Lord.
as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. So it's the Heavenly Father that's working on the minds of these kings, various kings of all these different countries, to basically set themselves up in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, right?
Mhm.
By the Euphrates. That's why the Euphrates is has dried up basically, because war is getting ready to play out. World War III is getting ready to pop off over there in the Middle East.
Sure.
All right, so I'm gonna get another precept here. This will be my last precept. I'm gonna jump around in it. This is Jeremiah 51. I'm gonna read from 1 to 4 and then jump down to 27. So it says,
That's the spirit.
it says Jeremiah 51:1. It says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. And I send unto Babylon fanners, right, that shall fan her and shall empty her land. For as you see, the word fanners is plural. So you're going to have, it's not going to just be one nation that's going to be shooting missiles at America, but many nations, many countries. That's why you're going to see the scriptures talk about 200 million or 200,000 missiles. 200,000 missiles, man.
And
200,000,
Con.
which is 200 million. You said it right. Go ahead. Yep.
yeah, as I say, just to add on, because you know when you start trying to start up a fire, you start fanning it to make it,
Right.
rise up. That's what these nations are going to be doing. Is just sending
Right.
more missiles, man. But that's going to be their fanning, man. That wind, that destructive wind. All right.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, because the oxygen that fan provides actually breathes life into the fire. The flame.
Right.
Yeah. And verse 2 it says, and will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble, which trouble? Jacob's trouble. So guess what? World War III is still a part of Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble is going to play out until we get beamed up.
That's right. The climax of the sixth trouble. Yep.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Lo will of the hopeful elect. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Against him that bendeth let the archer bend his bow against him that lifted himself up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her host.
That's right.
That's the destruction that these missiles are bringing. So when you have to think about these teachers out here that are teaching you, right? I'm talking to those of you that maybe camp hop or kind of indifferent about this truth. You have to think about the teachers that are teaching you. Are they talking about the upcoming destruction that the Lord is bringing, or they're telling you that basically you have all the time in the world to live out your life here on earth, or live out your life here on in Esau's kingdom?
Build an Israelite city.
Yeah, build an Israelite
land and build an Israelite city and whatnot. Dumb shit like that.
Con. All right.
Yes, sister. You can bring your, all that.
Yeah,
that's the off spirit that these guys are in.
Yep.
Yeah, peace and safety spirit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Building up in this place and all that.
That's right. Yeah, and then when you go into the brigandines, it basically goes into war, right? Their weaponry and their infantry. Okay, so going back, right? Because the word there, brigandine, for is armor, and you only need armor when you go into war. So it says, verse 4. It says, "Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans," because America is coming in that spirit of the Chaldeans as well, right? The land of Ur of Chaldees, where our forefather Abraham fled from. Guess what? That was America back then. That was America of that time. Okay, of Abraham's time. It says, "And they that are thrust through in her streets." Okay, so you're gonna have a lot of death in America. A lot of death are gonna take place in America, man. It says that the blood should be up to the horse's bridle. It's a lot of blood in the streets.
That's
Verse.
right.
So I'm gonna jump down to verse 27. It reads,
Mm-hmm.
Set ye up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations, prepare the nations against her, call together against her the kingdoms of Ararat, Minini, and Ashkenaz, appoint a captain against her, right? And right now, right, in today's time, that captain is basically Putin.
Yeah.
All right. He's that captain, man. He's the one leading
the charge.
Exactly. Leading the charge.
Yeah, I have the precept. It says, "Make right the arrows, gather the shields.
Yeah.
The Lord had raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes.
Yeah.
For his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is vengeance of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, vengeance of his temple."
Isaiah 13.
Well, it's there too, but this is Jeremiah speaking, right?
Oh,
The 51st chapter. So
okay.
you forecast it, but he goes into more. You already said it, but he goes into more detail.
Right.
In 51st chapter. So you already read it, right? And talked about Putin and these characters. But yeah, I just wanted to bring out the precept as you're speaking to that point. Right? He's the kings of the Medes.
Yep.
Go ahead, brother.
It says, appoint a captain against her, cause the horses to come up as the rough caterpillars, and that's talking about the missiles. All right, and also the military, the army. It says, verse 28, prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof. Right, so the king of the Medes, who's that? That's Putin. Right, they're talking about Russia. It says the captains thereof, and all the Medes thereof, and all the land of his dominion. Okay? And the land shall tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord Yahweh shall be performed against Babylon. Wow. To make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant. So no one is going to ever be able to inhabit the land of America again. Okay.
That's right.
So that's it for me on that. Or actually,
brother,
last one here.
This is a powerful lesson, because while this is happening, the condition of the elect is so vital, because we described as well already the condition of the wicked Jake and these nations. They're in a tizzy. The Lord's bugging them out. Put a spirit of vengeance. The Russians, especially the kings, so-called of the Medes, the so-called Russians, the kings.
Yeah.
Right. But I wanted to just, brother, if you could go to Psalms 38 and read from 18 to 22, because this is the true condition of the elect while this famine leading up to the destruction.
This is Psalms 38 and 18, and it reads, "For I will declare my iniquity, I will be sorry for my sin, but mine enemies are lively, and they are strong, and they that hate me wrongfully are multiplied." They also that render evil for good are mine adversaries, because I follow the thing that good is. Forsake me not, O Lord Yahweh, O my power, be not
Uh,
far from me.
Salakia, brother, that's powerful. I made a mistake there. It's Psalms 33 and 18 to 22, brother.
Okay.
Salakia.
Psalms
33. Yeah,
33.
33. Yeah, start at 18 because this will be the condition of the elect. And this going to be, yeah, go ahead, brother.
Psalms 33 and 18. Behold, the
Mm-hmm.
eye of the Lord Yahweh is upon them that fear him,
Mm-hmm.
upon them that hope in his mercy.
All right, beautiful. So this is in the time of the famine, right? And we're in the early stages, the smoke, if you may say, of this time. And there's mercy, right?
Yeah.
But when this thing fulfills, when this climax, right, the protection is going to tell you in the next verses how the Lord's going to protect his people. Okay,
Yeah.
meaning the elect. All right. So mercy in the time of famine for the elect. No mercy for 2/3 because their fate is sealed along with these wicked. That's why we're reading this. Okay, and that's why all those other precepts came out, man. The Lord is sealing and separating, and he's going to shake up his house and so forth like that. But I just wanted to bring out the point of mercy there right now. Okay. Anyway, go ahead, brother. Continue.
It says to deliver the soul from death,
Mm-hmm.
keep them alive in famine.
Here you go.
Right. So
Right.
that goes into Jacob's trouble. The elect are going to preserve and receive the mercy of the Lord in Jacob's trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this understanding this word is going to be is going to be vital in that time, because that's all
Everything. Wow.
right? All you're going to have is your knowledge and understanding of this word and your faith in Jacob's trouble. Right. And evidently that's going to lead to the elect not taking the MARK, so overcoming that great test or that great time of testing, which is ultimately going to lead them, to getting beamed up, which is getting beamed up by Yahushai in them chariots, right? Delivering them from the ultimate death, or as Peter says it, the second death, which is the death by fire. It's the missiles.
Right.
Our soul waiteth for the Lord Yahweh. He is our help and our shield. For our heart shall rejoice in him, because we have trusted in his holy name. Let thy mercy, O Lord Yahweh, be upon us, according as we hope in thee.
Here you go again. That word came out, mercy. And then we see in the 20th verse, it talks about the shield. Right. And it's not some crest. It's not some, right. This is going into the Thawa. And you posted a powerful video from those brothers in Chicago. Okay, and this is what we got to beg for, right? We got to beg for his mercy. Okay, is covering. That's what the elect will be, the frame of mind, the spirit of humility. Okay, and pushing this word, obviously, in spirit and in truth. The whole shield, the whole armor. Okay, and it starts with the Father's giving the Son's name. Yeah, bring it out, brother. Bring out the
precept. This precept here is Isaiah 65 and 14 from Shalom to the brothers on the comment board. Shalom to brothers, pillars of Benjamin. It says, Isaiah 65 and 14, behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. God. Yep.
That's right.
It's going to be evil day, right? A great and evil day and dreadful day upon 2/3 of Israel and the rest of the world. All right. So, Khan, so with that, we're going to close up this lesson. Lord willing, this is edifying to the hopeful elected nation of Israel. All right. We're going to close by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh. All right. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and has taught us his word in truth and sincerity. And peace and mercy to the hopeful elected, also pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth, as well as you sisters that believe. Peace and mercy to you and your household. We're going to say a ball.
Brought the ball.
And Lord willing, to the next live lesson, we're saying shalom to the full left.
Shalom to the hopeful left.
Shalom.